go ahead and get this homework knocked out. I got the other ones. It says use the graph to solve the equation to check your solutions. All right, if we're going to solve this equation, I see I got -3 and I got 4x plus 1. So this one's pretty easy because remember we're making both of these to y. So that means we've got y is equal to -3. And that's what we have here, right? This went down 1, 2, 3. And that means it's -3 all the time. And then we have y is equal to 4x plus 1. And if we solve that, we know that we're going to 1. And then we have a positive slope rising 4 and going over 1. Or you could even say going down 4 and over 1. So the the coordinates for this linear system are going to be -1 and -3. All right, number 2 is for you to do. Number 3, now it has 4 plus, or x plus 4 and -x. So once again, this means y is going to be equal to x plus 4. Y is also going to be equal to -x. When we solve this one, we start at 4. And then it says we're going, since there's a 1 in front of every variable, that means we're going up 1 and over 1. And that's what they did, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And then back here, they went down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And then y equals -x. Well, if y equals -x, it means they're starting at the origin, which is what they did here, and it's going down 1 and over 1 because the slope is -1 over 1. And if they went down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, over here, they'll have to go up 1 and over 1, up 1 and over 1. And they meet here at -2 and 2. You have number 4 to do. Now we have y equals 1/2 x minus 2, and y equals -5 plus 9. And I wish they would have wrote this correctly. I don't like it when they leave things out of order. This should have been y is equal to -5x plus 9. All right, instead of this. And now that we've done that, we go to -2 on our y-axis. And since it's 1 over 2, we go up 1 and over 2. That's what they did here. They went up 1 and over 2. Up 1 and over 2, and they made this line. Next, they have y equals -5x plus 9. So we're going to go to +9. That's way up here. And then we're going to go to, we're going to go down 5 and over 1. So if we're going down 5 and over 1 from 9, 9 minus 5 is 4, and over 1 would be here. And we'll go down 5 again and over 1 here. That would give us 2 and -1. All right, you have number 6 to do. This one says solve the equation by graphing. Check your solution. We got 5x minus 7 equals 2x plus 1. All right, and remember, we're doing all this by graphing. I know there's going to be easier ways for us to do this, but I want you to try to learn graphing here. And this will have to distribute properties, right? And when we do, this is going to be 2 times x, that's 2x. And 2 times 1, that's +2. And you can see right there, that's what they did. They multiplied 2 to everything in there. You got 2x plus 2. Then they graphed it. Our starting point of this one's -7 way down here. But I went up 5, so going up 5 from 7 will get me up to 2. And then I'll go over 1. So I'd go up to 2 and over 1. And you might notice that this is 2 over here, so that's why we're at the half. And then we're going to go up 5 again and over 2. So from -1, that's going to take me to 4 and over 1. And that, oh, sorry. And that puts me right there. Okay? right here. And again, we'll go up 4 or 5 and over 1. And going up 5 and over 1, that'll put us at about 9, right? And then over here, 1 in the middle. And now it's saying I got y equals 2x plus 2. All right, so if I start at 2, and I go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1, okay? That's how I get my line there. You might be saying, Mr. Mendez, how would we have known if this line here was going to intersect there? You would have had to make your graph with ones, no doubt, or at least realize that when you make your graph by twos, the halfway point in between here is going to be 1 more, right? So here and here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we were at -7 and we went up 5, that brought us to -2 and then over 1. So then at -2, we go up 5. That's going to put us at 3 and over 1. So 3 would be right there. Okay. And then we go up again, 5, and up from 3. That's going to put us 3 plus 5 is 8 and over 1. And that's how we got here. Okay. And then this was self-explanatory. Starting at 2 and then going up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. We see that they intersected at 3 and 8. All right, let's move on. Solve the equation by graphing. Check your work. All right, if I was to go ahead and graph this one, 3x minus 3 is really easy. But this one is not so easy. If I have 4 over 5x plus 7 over 5, remember I can, let's see, this is going to be y equals that. This is going to make the graphing a little bit more challenging. So we're going to start at 7 over 5, which is really 1 2/5, right? That's going to be about right here, 1 2/5. And then we're going to go up 4 and over 5. So since these are up by 1, let's see, this is, okay, so we're going up 4 and over 5. That's going to put us, let's see, up 4 from, and this is 2 and, I'm going to have to write this out. If I'm at 1 2/5 and I go up 4, right, up 4, let's see, that's going to put me at 5 2/5. So that would be about, well, somewhere over here, right? Because this is 5. So 5 2/5 would be about here. And then you're going to have to go over 5. That would put you way over here. Now you can see where this line's headed. Okay? But you might be thinking, okay, so how in the world did you get 2 over 3 graphing like this? And I'm going to show you the trick right now, as I showed you in class. When you finally get to this point where we're getting very complex numbers, I want you to just work the problems out equal to each other to find out what x is. So in this case, we know that we have 4 over 5 x plus 7 over 5 is going to be equal to 3x minus 3. So we're going to combine our like terms. I know 4 over 5x is smaller than 3x. So I'm going to minus 4 over 5x. And whatever I subtract from one side, I do the other. All right, now I'm going to have 7 over 5 left over here, an equal sign. And 3 minus 4 over 5 is going to give me 2 and 1 over 5x. Minus 3. All right. Now I'm going to combine my numbers. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. And this is going to give me, well, I know that 7 over 5 is really 1 2/5. So when I add it to 3, that's going to be 4 2/5. Now it's got to equal 2 1/5 x. All right. I know there's another way to go ahead and write these numbers out, so I'm going to do that for the sake of making this easier. Would it be easy to turn these into, I am just going to go ahead and do that. Since we start with fractions, I want to end with fractions. Let's turn these into improper fractions. So first, this can be 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 2 make 22 over 5. Now it's going to be equal to 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 1. That's 11 over 5x. The only way to get rid of the 11 over 5 is to multiply it by 5 over 11. And whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. Now I'm multiplying 5 times 22 and 11 times 5. But I can look at these numbers, and I'm going to put them over here so you can see it very clearly. 5 over 11 times 22 times 5. I've got a 5 on the top and 5 on the bottom. That means I can reduce 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I can do that to both of them. And then I got 11 on the bottom, 22 on the top. They're both divisible by 11. 11 divided by 11 is 1. 22 divided by 11 is 2. And now I got 1 times 2, and that's 2. And 1 times 1, and that's 1. Which means the answer is 2. X is equal to 2. Okay, now that I know this, I'm going to plug x into my simpler problem here. So since x is 2, this is really 3 times 2 minus 3. Then we'll see I replaced x here with 2. Well, that gives me 6 minus 3, which is 3. And so that tells me that, and remember, this was equal to y, which means y is equal to 3. And now you can see where we got our answer from. All right? So when you get to the points where graphing is too complex and you're not going to be able to get that number because we're not using graphing calculators, I want you to work it out this way. All right, number 10 is yours. I got number 11 now. It says solve the equation by graphing. Determine whether the equation has one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Okay, let's work that one. I know this one's going to end up being 2x minus 4. When I graph this, I see that my first one is starting at -3, and this is they're going by they're going by halves here. Oh no, actually they're going by ones. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they went down 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And then they went down 2 and over 1. This is 2 over 1. So from 3, 1, 2, 3, they went down 2 and over 1. And that's how they got this dot here. And then on the other side, let's see, since they were at -3, that means I can go up 2 and over 1 on the other side. All right? And now, once again, we see that, let's see, we have -4 over here, and then it goes up 2 and over 1, which puts us here. And we can see that lines don't meet in one of these cross sections. So once again, let's work the problem out, putting them equal to each other. So I'm going to go with 2x minus 4 is equal to negative 2x minus 3. I'm going to combine my variables. This is going to be a positive 2x over here and a positive 2x here. And that's going to give me 4x. That means the numbers have to come over here, so I'm going to add 4 over here, which means I'll add 4 over here. And 4 minus 3 is 1. And now we see we got to divide 4 away from 4x, which means we'll divide it from 1. So x is going to be equal to 1/4. All right. 1/4 as a decimal is 0.25. Okay. Now we're going to plug 0.25 in for one of these problems. Let's just go to this one here. This will be 2 times 0.25. And this would be minus 4. Well, 2 times a half, that's like 2 times a quarter. That's 0.50 minus 4. See, when my signs are different, I take the big number minus the small number. And then I keep the sign of the big number. So it's going to be negative. And then I have to remember the decimal points here. And I'll have to borrow one. 10 minus 5 is 5. And the 3 comes down, negative 3.5. And that's what we have here. All right. Let's go ahead and go to number 13. You have number 12. On this one, we're going to distribute our properties. This will end up being 4x plus 3 over 2. We're going to put these equal to each other again. And I'm going to go ahead and work them out because I already know this is not going to be something that comes out. Oh, I'm sorry. The last one, we're supposed to say one solution, no solution, or infinitely many. We definitely have one solution here, and this is it. And remember, if the slope is different, automatically one solution. If the slope is the same and the y-intercept is the same, infinitely many solutions. And if the slope is the same but the y-intercept is different, no solutions. So let's go ahead and move forward now knowing that. So over here we're going to take this one, and really you don't have to do a lot here to solve it because this is 1/2 of 8, that's 4x. And now already we know that we have the same slope. And then we're going to take 1/2 times 3, and that's going to give us plus 3 over 2. Now we see we have identical formulas, right? Which means we're going to have infinitely many solutions. The equation has infinitely many solutions. All right? 14 is yours to do. Number 15, once again, we're solving. I'm going to go ahead and distribute my properties. This is going to be 10x minus 20. This is going to be negative 2x minus 8. So that tells me we're going to have one solution because my slopes are different. I'm going to use, while solving my inverse operations to solve it instead of using a graph because I see there's some pretty big numbers here and I have to work pretty hard on my graph to get all the way to 20 or negative 20. So let's go ahead and just combine these numbers. I'm going to add 2x to each side. And that's going to give me 12x. And I'm going to bring my numbers on the other side, so I'll add 20. And 20 minus 8 is 12. Now I'm going to divide by 12 to get x by itself, which means I divide the other side by 12, and that gives me x equals 1. All right? So that tells me there's going to be one solution. Now I got to find out what y is. I'm going to plug it in over here. Remember, y is equal to negative 2x minus 8. And so x we said was 1. So that's going to give me y equals negative 2 times 1 minus 8. Of course, this is going to be equal to negative 2 minus 8, which gives me negative 10. So I should have x is 1 and y is negative 10. There we go, 1 and negative 10. All right, 16 is yours to do. I got 17 here. We're going to go ahead and distribute those properties again. Let's see, this negative has to get in front of all this, so this would be a negative 3x plus 5. All right, and then over here we can combine our like terms. Negative x and negative 2x is negative 3x. And then the positive 5 comes down. Once again, we have identical problems, so this is going to be infinitely many solutions. All right, let's go to number 19. You and your friend race underwater remote control vehicles to the bottom of the pool. You have a 2-foot head start. Your vehicle descends at 1.5 feet per second. Your friend's vehicle descends at a rate of 2 feet per second. Solve negative 2x, and that's your friend going 2 feet down a second, and negative 1.5x minus 2, that's your vehicle going down per second, and you have 2 less feet to go. So we can put these equal to each other. Negative 2x is going to be equal to negative 1.5x minus 2. I'm going to combine my coefficients here. So I'm going to move this over here. That's going to give me a positive 1.5x on both sides. 2 when my signs are different, we find the difference. 2 minus 1.5 is 0.5. And then we keep the sign of the bigger number. And that was 2, so this would be a negative 0.5x. This is going to equal negative 2. Now I got to divide by negative 0.5. All right, so I got to take 2, negative 2, right? Negative divided by negative is a positive, so I already know x is going to be a positive number. And now 2 divided by 0.5, well, when I've got a point there, I can move it over, which means I have to move my decimal here over. This turns to a 20. And 5 goes into 24 times, so that means the answer is going to be 4. Now I'm going to plug in for y. I'm going to take my more easier problem right here. And if that's true, negative 2 times 4 will give me negative 8. So y is negative 8. And x is 4. Let's see here. Right over here, we've got, let's see. There it is, 4 and negative 8 right there. So we go to 4, we go down all the way to negative 8, and they'll intersect right there. All right, number 20 was yours to do. Now I've got to get to number 21. Use the graph to solve this. Check your solution. So they've got 2x plus 4, which means one started at 4. So that must have been this one up here. And since it went up 2 and over 1, over here it went down 2 and over 1, down 2 and over 1, down 2 and over 1, and it kept going down. Okay. Then you have x equals 1, or negative, or 8 minus, x minus 1. That means I'll start at negative 1, and I'll go down 1, or no, it's a positive, so it's up 1 over 1, which means over here, the line is going down 1 over 1. Sorry about that. And continuing until they get here, looks like they're going to meet at negative 5, negative 6. So x is negative 5. Let's see. I'm not quite sure why they didn't finish it. Use the graph to solve, check your solution. Over here, negative 5 and negative 6, yep. So they do exactly what we said. We put them equal to each other. Then we put those numbers in, and we seen that we got 6 equals 6. That checks good. So now x was negative 5, and we just worked it in the problem. Okay? If x is negative 5 and negative 1 make negative 6. And 22 is yours to do. That's all of them. So I will see you in class for grading. Good luck and have a great night.